Hello once again, witchy people. I'm back for a quick video because this room is, we can call it habitable. Please excuse the cat arse. Go and sit on the bed. There is a bed here, a day bed, because this is a guest room. It's a cat room. It's a cat toilet. They have their, everything is here. I have my herbs here. Some of my witchy stuff is in here. Some of my craft stuff is in here, but not a lot. Yes. So every time I try to do this video, the cats or the dogs decide that they want to start playing up. But that's fine. So I am getting there. We are waiting for Mary's furniture for her room. Her room is just across the hall. And get away from my coffee. And then as soon as we have that, we will try and get her home. They have COVID at the nursing home at the moment. They have a COVID outbreak. So we have to sort of... Would you stop showing your butt to the camera, please, my little feline friend? Anyway, so... I may be acting slightly strange. It is because I am totally, how can I put this politely? I'm very relaxed on painkillers. So a couple of weeks ago, the last video was actually made in January. I did make another video on Imbolc, which was mainly just the fire burning, because I had a beautiful fire at Imbolc. Then 2 weeks ago, just after Imbolc, oh, you dribbly thing, I had a bit of an accident and I've broken my ribs, but very high up under my right arm, so I can't do any, or I can do very little. It's very painful, and I'm, like I said, totally on painkillers and ibuprofen and everything, so I am feeling a little strange, but I'm getting there. So, as I said, this room is... Don't bite me! I gave you attention. This room is pretty much finished. I have to... There are some things in the craft shed which is a mess, because everything's just been dumped in there. So there are some things in the craft shed that got to come back in here, and some things in here that will have to go up the craft shed. I store all the cat food here. They have their litter tray here. They have their huge 6-foot tower here. And... you know, so like I said, we're getting there. We are getting there. And it's beginning to feel a bit more normal, which will stop feeling normal in a couple of weeks when we get Mary home. If we get her home that quick. So, what have I been up to? Well, I've been ordering stuff and I've been treating myself. And it's not actually treating myself. My family's been treating me. I got a lovely... bag. You can't sit up in the window, but up in the window I've actually got... I have the Jehovah's Witnesses calling. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Jehovah's Witnesses. Although the local chapter, whatever you want to call it, did treat my mum-in-law very, very badly. I won't go into that. But let's just say they were awful people to her. And so she left, and she cut them out of her will, which was rather nice. I did explain to the people who called that I wasn't interested. If I was to choose some Abrahamic religion, I would probably choose Judaism, and I would be Jewish, like my grandmother and my father. And, you know, I have more affinity with that particular Abrahamic religion than any other. I had not finished this room then. Now, up in the window at the moment, you can't see it because it's too bright, but on this side, I have the hazel pentacle that my daughter made me, and on this side I have the dream catcher that Miss Lizzie made me. They haven't knocked the door again since, so I think they've got the message. I I don't want to put other religions off from knocking my door and talking to me, because I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the different outlook on life that they have to me, and the way they interpret the Bible compared to how I interpret my faith and my path and my way of life. But when Mary comes to live here, it's going to be a lot easier if we have a lot less people knocking the door. Anyway, so we've just gone past Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a lovely day. It wasn't too taxing, or maybe it should have been very taxing, and you had lots of fun. I have a birthday coming up. It's not a big birthday. I've already passed that one. But I have been getting a few gifts. So I've got another hair for my collection. I've got a plaque from my mum saying home is where you hang your broom. And I know I've got some more gifts coming in, but my hubby bought me some books. He bought me a lovely bag that says, yes, I'm a witch, put up with it. So he bought me this one here, A Spell in the Wild, by, terrible, Alice Tarbuck. These are some of the books I wanted. I know my daughter's getting me some other ones. Judica Illes, Encyclopedia of Spirits. Now, I love Judica Illes' larger books. So I've got her magic book, I've got her strange creatures, mystical creatures book, and this is the fourth one I think I've got hers. I can't remember what the others are. So this will be going on my bookshelf. I was bought this, the Celtic Tree Oracle. See, it's not even been opened. I'm being really good. I'm not opening it until my birthday. This is Liz and Colin Murray, and I also got Celtic Tree Magic by Danu Forest. Now, I've got quite a few books by Danu Forest, and I quite like them. I have 18 Tiny Deaths, because I absolutely love the story of Frances Glesner Lee and how she made little dollhouse things to help solve murders, basically. Absolutely brilliant. I've read a book about Frances Glesner Lee, and I'm hoping this one's going to be just as fun and interesting. I also got Sacred Spirit reading cards by Anna Stark, and The Crooked Path, an introduction to traditional witchcraft by Keldon, and forward by Gemma Gary. It's not my favourite book about traditional witchcraft, but it explains a bit more than, because I had this on a Kindle version, it explains a bit more about the more traditional side of it than some other books, so that's why I like that one. And then I actually got a children's book, this one, Full Moon Law. Now, it's not, this is by Ellen Wahi and illustrated by Ashley Stewart, and the reason I wanted it was because of the illustrations. See, absolutely beautiful. Now, not all the moons correspond with what I call the moons. Obviously, they do have Wolf Moon. And I can't wait to have my grandchildren come visit, and we can sit and go through that. So that's some of my new Pressies. The only thing I've done witchcraft-wise, really, is I've made a few, for Imbolc, I made some firelighters some out of tea bags and some out of fir cones. Okay, bear with me on this. So going back a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago maybe, possibly 3 years ago, at the end of the street, one of the fir trees, there's like 3 or 4 fir trees, one of them had broken quite a large bough, and we're talking a lot, and it had fallen And it has been there, this huge tree trunk and beautiful, beautiful branches and wood for the last 3 years. And I mentioned to my husband, we should go and collect some of that wood because, you know, it's free wood. And he said, it's been there 3 years. It's not going to disappear overnight. The next morning, the council came and chopped it up and chipped it. So it did basically disappear overnight. But every time I've sort of like walked past, I've picked up a couple of fir cones. And I've sort of like got somewhere between 50 and 60, I guess. I've passed a few on to Lizzie. I've used probably about 10, but 50 or 60 I've got left. And what I'm doing with them is when they open, now most of the pine cones that I have, I thought they were all off one tree, and it's yellow pine. So there's yellow pine, red pine, white pine, and these are yellow pine. And I know that because when I had a branch, when the needles were coming out the branch, they came out in sets of 3, which makes it yellow pine. Easiest way to sort of gauge what kind of pine. If it comes out in sets of 2, it's white pine, I think, yes. And if it comes out in sets of 5, it's red pine. Now the problem with white pine is the fir cones do not open very easily, and I think some of them may be white pine because some of them are not opening. But anyway, when fir cones open, and some of them are like this big, it's brilliant. When they open, you wrap string around it in a little coil, all hidden away in between the little seed bushel bits, and then you just roll it in wax, let it dry off, roll it in wax again, roll it in wax again. Usually 3, maybe 4 times is enough. Make sure that you cut the string off at the top so you've got a little wick, and hey, you have a really nice fire lighter. So what I shall be doing is stringing those at some point, and yes, I'll show you a quick video of me doing it. I mean, there are probably hundreds of videos online that show you how to do it. What I have done with mine is when I've used the wax, I've used apple scent in the wax, and it's lovely when you just get a whiff of apple. Now at the moment what we're burning is a couple of old buddleias that we had growing in the garden. They're real thugs really, as a plant. They are very thuggish, and they take over, they grow anywhere, they will split open walls, they'll crack concrete. So I've pulled them up because I'd rather not have them there, to be honest. As pretty as they can be, if I grow buddleia, I would like to grow buddleia in a pot where it's a bit more easy to maintain, and so you still get the butterflies because they love the buddleia, so do the bees. But anyway, yes, so we're burning a lot of that, and it actually smells quite nice. It's subtle once again, but it is nice, and that's what I've been doing, lighting fires occasionally, trying to keep things tidy. I haven't been able to walk the dogs at the moment because I can't walk them with the broken ribs. Did I mention I've got broken ribs? I don't know. Yes, I did. Totally out of it. I'm very, very out of it. So I've broken 2 ribs near the top. It's just sort of under my arm and down a bit, and I ripped a muscle, and it's incredibly painful, and so I can't walk the dogs, and I feel very, 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 very guilty for that because they really would like to have a nice walk. I go down to the local park, and I think if I go down to the park and then cut through there's like a little estate there, I come to some of the new forest. It's that quick to get into the forest, so I might do that. Like I said, other than that, I haven't done much. I've sorted out this room. I sorted out my mother-in-law's room, ready for her furniture, ordered her furniture, and I said everything else has been shoved in the craft shed, and I'm pretty sure half of what I need is still upstairs in the attic. But it's okay for now, you know. I mean, I've got some pictures up on the wall. I mean, that picture there is the picture that I used to have in my dining room. And it's a picture of a cottage in France, I think, or Spain. France. And I absolutely love the picture. You look at the picture and you think, oh, what an interesting house, I'd like to live there. Or you look at it and say, that looks like a haunted house, I'm not going anywhere near it. So, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm getting there. So, that's it. I just wanted to show you what some of the things I'd got and tell you what I've been doing and what I'm going to plan to be doing. And then I would like to do the 24 questions. I think it's 24 questions. We'll see. And I've got everything ready to carry on with some of the previous series that I'd like to be doing. I started and never finished because I'm good at that. Oh, she's just having something to eat. I have to put their food on the windowsill because then it's the furthest away from their litter box, which is over in the corner. And their water's here because they don't like their water next to their food. Typical cats. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going to waffle. I think I've said enough. Hopefully I will be uploading a bit more often now. And getting back to some kind of normality. Well, as normal as I'll ever be anyway. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Goodbye for now from the new Covenstead and my 4 little fur babies. And I'll be back very soon. Bye-bye, witchy people.